This is the man I have ever seen who enjoys living on a deserted island the most. There was no fire, no water, and no food, relying solely on simple survival equipment. Not only was he not hungry, at night I went beachcombing and caught crabs until my hands were exhausted, diving for hunting and catching giant barracudas, make meat skewers, and grill them over the fire. A stingray caught while going beachcombing. Bake it directly over the fire. Tender and juicy fish meat. The fish melts in your mouth and is simply a 5-star feast on a deserted island. A giant blue trevally caught on the reef. Look at this weight of over 10 pounds. Grilled and eaten is like a luxurious feast. You can also catch a shark to play with. Of course, a barbecue is indispensable in the evening. The squids attracted by the lights are the freshest. Just bake it and it will become tender, fragrant, and chewy. Would you like to take part in such a survival on a deserted island? This time, Zhuang was trapped on a tropical deserted island in the Pacific Ocean. When trapped on a deserted island, the top priority is to explore and understand the surrounding environment. Zhuang discovered that the seawater on this deserted island was extremely clear. At a glance, I saw a spider snail. Although it is relatively small in size, it was so easy to pick up a spider snail. There's a plastic bottle on the beach. There is still quite a lot of clean fresh water in the plastic bottle. Zhuang guessed that it might have fallen off a fishing boat and washed ashore. This fresh water can temporarily meet Zhuang's survival needs. Just as Zhuang was about to continue exploring, I was targeted by a little shark. Zhuang panicked instantly. This shark island truly lives up to its reputation. Such a tiny shark won't attack humans on its own initiative, when on the verge of starving to death. If you catch a small shark to eat, it would probably fill you up. The weather on the deserted island is extremely hot. Zhuang wants to find a shady spot to build a shelter. Not far from the seaside, there is a big tree. The area under the big tree is surrounded by vegetation. A very comfortable environment has been formed. Zhuang tied the hammock to a big tree. During the days when I was trapped on the deserted island, it all depends on this hammock for a good night's sleep. Apart from hammocks, Zhuang also set up a waterproof cloth. There are very few trees on the deserted island. These half-meter-tall long grasses are everywhere. Zhuang plans to explore the other side of the deserted island. The sun on the deserted island at noon is extremely scorching. Even one more minute of exposure to the scorching sun can be life-threatening. The 4 essential elements for survival on a deserted island are only lacking food and fire. Zhuang took out a homemade harpoon. Although its power is not very great, Zhuang has used it to hunt a lot of seafood. He came to the reef to observe. I'm not sure if it's a low point now. Squids and crabs are usually hidden in these reefs. After the tide goes out, many eels can still be seen coming out to forage. There is also a small mangrove forest here, the intricate root region. It is a natural shelter for small fish to escape from their natural enemies. It's a pity that the water level is rather deep now. Even if there are fish, they cannot be hunted. Zhuang found many small nuts on a rock. These nuts can not only be used for making soup, it can also be used as bait for fishing. Here is a whole stretch of rocky beach. It's very suitable to go beachcombing here after the tide goes out. Zhuang wanted to explore along the rocks by the shore. It's a pity that the water level is rising now, which is quite dangerous. He plans to come here to go beachcombing during the low tide at night. Zhuang's foot was accidentally cut. He stepped on a wooden board with nails. On a deserted island, a rusty nail is often more dangerous than a wild beast. It is very likely to bring a fatal risk of infection. Rusty metal is prone to carrying bacteria. It may cause tetanus. Such wounds need to be treated promptly. Zhuang disinfected the wound with hydrogen peroxide. Then take out the gauze and bandage it. This nail has turned black. The surface is already covered with rust and bacteria. I hope I won't be infected. Zhuang collected a lot of dry firewood. The weather on the deserted island changes as suddenly as a girlfriend's face. It becomes very difficult to reignite firewood after it gets wet. Zhuang collected these dry firewood back to the camp in advance. It's never wrong to plan ahead. Zhuang held the harpoon again, ready to explore the deserted island. He stood on the rock and observed the seawater here. There is a big beach on the right side of the deserted island. On the left, there is a large area of mangroves. You can go to the mangrove forest to catch crabs after the tide goes out. Zhuang discovered a crystal on the rock. I thought this was a piece of sea salt. I never expected it to be just a mineral crystal. Zhuang held it in his hand and observed it carefully. He has no idea what this stone is composed of. It looks quite beautiful on closer inspection. Does anyone know what this is? Zhuang saw a huge conch shell on the beach. He wants to take it out and use it as a bowl to cook seafood. I never expected to be tightly pressed down by this rock. It simply can't be pulled. Wait until the sun sets. Zhuang came to the beach to go beachcombing. I want to catch a few crabs for dinner. Walking along the beach all the way, I didn't spot any crabs. Zhuang unexpectedly discovered a water source. This water flows down from the island. There is a high probability that it is fresh water. One can often pick up some conch shells on the shore. This white spider shell is very beautiful. Zhuang went beachcombing along the reef. When the tide goes out, many rock crabs appear on the reefs. Zhuang easily caught one with a harpoon. This kind of rock crab is not very big in size. It's not bad to catch a few to make snacks. There was no harvest from going to the seaside. Zhuang tried diving for hunting again. Sea fish hide in coral reefs to rest. It can be easily caught with just a raw harpoon. This is a small miscellaneous fish from a coral reef. It tastes very fragrant when grilled. The eyes of this kind of fish are very big. The food is available. Next, a fire still needs to be made. Zhuang struck out sparks with stones. This is the way he is best at making a fire. On a deserted island, The first thing that came to Zhuang's mind was grilled fish. This small grilled fish was his first dinner on the deserted island. I saw a small shark while diving. If no food is found in the next few days, Zhuang plans to catch a shark to taste. The little fish was quickly roasted. Zhuang smelled it twice and was reluctant to eat. The caught crabs are served as an appetizer. It's very refreshing and satisfying to eat. After eating the grilled crabs, next up is to taste this delicious grilled fish. Zhuang deeply regretted not bringing the crossbow and harpoon. Otherwise, the blue-spotted stingray I saw while diving tonight might be hunted. Zhuang said that if he came across this stingray again tomorrow, I'm definitely going to hunt it for a good meal.
Вкусная рыба.
It was the second day. Zhuang got up and went to the shore to wash up. He came to the shore with a harpoon to hunt. I want to catch a few fish for breakfast. I looked at the rock for several hours, but still couldn't find the target. Zhuang decided to light the fire first. He collected some dry velvet. Today, he decided to make fire by rubbing wood together. The drill pipe rotates at high speed due to friction, leaving embers. This process is extremely physically demanding. When enough embers have been collected, put it into the collected fire wool. Just blow it up gently and it will be ignited. After successfully making a fire, Zhuang picked up his self-made harpoon again. The top of the deserted island is very flat. The grass on the ground is very long. Zhuang was tapping the grass with a stick as he walked. The advantage of this is to prevent being bitten by snakes. When Zhuang arrived at the other side of the deserted island, only then did I realize that the situation here was even worse. It is not suitable for beachcombing. Zhuang was on his way back to the camp. I saw a plant that was very abnormal. This plant is covered with sharp thorns, and the leaves were full of holes and bumps from being eaten by insects. It looks more like a green jujube tree. After returning to the camp, Zhuang found that the sky in the distance had already darkened. It began to rain in the sky. This is a good thing for Zhuang. He soon thought of collecting the rainwater. Zhuang picked up a bottle. Make a small cut in the bottle. Then hang the bottle on the tent. Before the heavy rain comes, Zhuang still has one important thing to do. He was holding a fishing rod, ready to go fishing. Zhuang came to this deep water area again. He wants to catch a fish before it rains heavily. Standing here, one can directly feel the impact of the waves. A timid person would probably be scared just by looking at it. Zhuang has been fishing here for a long time, but no fish has bitten his hook. The dark clouds ahead made him feel uneasy. It seems that he was given enough time, but I have never been able to catch any fish. After changing several positions, Zhuang continued fishing for a while and finally got a fish to bite. Just by looking at the curvature of the fishing rod, after the big fish was unhooked, Zhuang was simply furious. It's the first time in decades of being single that I've caught such a big fish. I was even unhooked. If Grandma heard this, she would die of anger on the spot. Zhuang described the process of fishing just now. Just by looking at his expression, you can tell how exciting it is. The dark clouds are right in front of me. Zhuang continued to try fishing here. I kept fishing until it got dark, but still caught nothing. Zhuang had no choice but to leave here. After returning to the camp, the bottles hung on the tent have collected some rainwater. I haven't eaten anything today. Zhuang decided to take the harpoon and go out to sea to catch fish again. He came to the beach to go beachcombing. I want to hunt a stingray for a midnight snack. The seawater on the desolate island is very clear. Not to mention hunting stingrays. Not a single squid was seen. Zhuang, who had been busy all day, was already feeling very hungry. He was walking on the beach and saw many small sand crabs. These sand crabs are too small to be eaten. The bright lights of Zhuang attracted some small fish, but it's very difficult to catch it just with a harpoon. Even the small fish stranded on the reef couldn't be caught. Zhuang was observing everywhere on the reef. The rock crabs on the reef were the only targets he could hunt. Today's dinner has finally been settled. Just such a tiny rock crab. It is also a rare protein in Zhuang, since the fish can't be caught. Then having a big meal of grilled crabs is not a bad idea either.
Есть небольшую рыбу, а также 5 крабов.
Zhuang was leaning against a small fish fork, hunting rock crabs crazily on the reef. After returning to the camp, I began to try making a fire. It rained heavily today. It is not suitable to start a fire by rubbing wood with drill. At this point, you can hit the iron sheet with a stone to create sparks. Then wrap it with the prepared carbon cloth. Zhuang took out the crabs he had hunted today from his net bag, although these crabs are not full. But the delicious crab meat makes one unable to stop eating. These grilled crabs are more than just food. It was also the hope and motivation for Zhuang to survive on the deserted island. On the third day of being trapped on a deserted island, Zhuang came to the shore with a fishing rod early in the morning. It's the low tide period now. A large area of exposed rocks appeared on the shore, but Zhuang did not choose to go beachcombing. They continued to the spot where they had fished yesterday. He wants to catch a big fish to fill his stomach, rather than having the small rock crabs on the reef for dinner. Zhuang fished here for a long time, but caught nothing. When returning to the beach, he saw that he had found a plastic bottle. There was only a small mouthful of fresh water inside. This is also very precious. Zhuang collected all the plastic bottles on the beach. Almost every bottle still has some fresh water left. Zhuang collected all these bottles. The freshwater resources on this deserted island are in short supply. The water in discarded plastic bottles is very likely to save lives in critical moments. If you are also trapped on a deserted island, you can pick up these bottles on the beach to get fresh water. No fish were caught. Zhuang had no choice but to try hunting with a harpoon. There are many sharks in the shallow water area along the shore. But it is not a low point now. It is extremely difficult for Zhuang to catch sharks at a depth of 1 meter. After returning to the shore, Zhuang discovered that Ganoderma lucidum had grown in the dead wood. It can be used as raw firewood. The homemade harpoon has never been able to find any food. Zhuang was not allowed to pull out the more lethal crossbow equipment. There are quite a few big fish in the deep water area. Each one is estimated to weigh several pounds. Zhuang tried several times in a row, but failed to hunt successfully. Diving is extremely physically demanding. Zhuang, who had been hungry for 3 days, soon lost all his strength. He came to the deserted island again. Observe the surrounding environment. After dark, many hermit crabs appeared in the camp. Hermit crabs are very unpalatable. I usually don't eat it if I'm not starving. Zhuang was diving for hunting with the crossbow. The flashlight attracted many needlefish. This kind of fish can be regarded as the kebabs of the sea. The slender body is especially delicious when skewered and grilled. Soon, Zhuang saw barracuda. The vast majority of fish are inactive after dark. Hunting with crossbows will be much simpler. This barracuda is very big. It's big enough to have a hearty meal. To fulfill the wish of a seafood feast, one still has to rely on crossbows.
Класс! Вот это повезло!
When Zhuang returned to the camp with the fish, I was bitten by a fish by accident. Zhuang was crying out in pain. After returning to the camp, Zhuang was showing off the pike he had hunted tonight. This barracuda is very big. It was the food that Zhuang successfully hunted for the first time since he was trapped on the deserted island for 3 days. I originally planned to light a fire to roast fish for a late-night snack. It can be done when Zhuang has made a fire. I didn't have a late-night snack. It was the 4th day. Zhuang got up and went to the shore to take a bath. The pike we hunted last night hasn't been eaten yet. Zhuang decided to find a nice spot to cook this barracuda. The environment on the deserted island mountain is very nice. Here you can see the nearby islands and vast areas of mangroves. Zhuang casually collected some dry firewood nearby. The island is never short of firewood. As long as it doesn't cost money, you can burn as much as you want. The weather is very dry today. Zhuang decided to make fire by rubbing wood together. Use fine dry firewood as fluff. Then place the dried coconut shell fibers on the wooden board. Drill pipes will produce embers when rubbed at high speeds. Embers piled up in the coconut shell fibers through the gaps in the wooden boards. Just collect enough embers. You can easily start a fire successfully. Zhuang was exploring nearby. There is a beautiful spot here. Leaning against the edge of the rock is not only cool and comfortable, and it's also very dry. Zhuang cut off a straight branch. Sharpen the thorns on the branches. After getting the materials ready, now you can make the grilled fish. This pike is very large in size. It's hard to cook a whole piece thoroughly. Zhuang decided to cut this piece into small pieces. Then they are strung one by one on the branches, even on a deserted island. Zhuang has quite high requirements for food cooking. Cut a fish into small pieces and then string them together. It can then be transformed into a larger giant skewer. Look at this big bunch of grilled fish. Just looking at it makes one's mouth water. Not to mention Zhuang. He put the shuttle directly over the fire to roast. The fish meat is roasted over high heat. The aroma of the fish meat gradually began to be brought out. Zhuang kept adding firewood. This can be seen from the increase in the amount of firewood. Zhuang was also very eager to have this grilled fish. The temperature of the fire is very high. Zhuang needs to turn the fish over from time to time. Prevent the fish from being scorched and wasted. Barracudas are not only rich in protein. Moreover, the fat content in fish meat is also very high. Under the effect of high temperature, the fish began to sizzle with oil. Zhuang couldn't wait to take out a piece of fish to taste. He ate up the fish in just a few bites like a hungry wolf. After the fish is cooked, Zhuang put out the fire immediately. Even if it causes a wildfire on a deserted island, one will still end up in prison. The grilled fish today was a great success. The surface of the fish meat is all fat, although it looks charred and black on the outside, but the fish inside is tender.
Какая же сочная. Сочная и горячая. Это очень вкусно. Какая же она сочная. Мне этой рыбы хватит на целый день. Вы только посмотрите. Это очень вкусно.
Every bite of fish is a reflection of Zhuang's efforts on the deserted island over the past few days. I was very satisfied with this grilled fish. The meat of the pike is abundant and rich in oil. The most important thing is to have fewer thorns and more flesh. Zhuang didn't finish the grilled fish in one go. The remaining half will be saved for dinner. I have no worries about food and drink today. Zhuang decided not to worry about food anymore. It was the 5th day. Zhuang came to the reef early in the morning to go fishing. Last time when I was trying to survive on a deserted island, I caught a giant blue snapper. The taste of the grilled fish was something he could never forget. Survive on a deserted island. Zhuang also wanted to catch a giant blue snapper to taste. Zhuang found eels among the reefs in the shallow water area. He already had the idea of catching eels. Zhuang immediately took the harpoon and went diving to explore. He bypassed the mangrove area, come to the corner of the reef that was discovered earlier. But now the water level here is very deep and not suitable for fishing. Zhuang had no choice but to try diving for hunting. There are actually quite a few in the shallow water area, although most of them are small fish. Zhuang stayed here for a long time. Perhaps many people would think that as long as they wait patiently, big fish will definitely appear. But the reality is that despite patient waiting, no big fish still showed up. Zhuang just changed the approach. He came to the reef to fish. However, this fishing went on until night. That's how making a fire is. Not all efforts will succeed. After dark, Zhuang continued to dive and hunt with crossbows. A little pufferfish came out for a walk. I was so frightened by Zhuang pointing a crossbow at my head. At this moment, a stingray passed by in front of me. This is the prey that Zhuang has been longing for. I waited for this stingray for 5 days. Finally, the opportunity has come. Zhuang dragged it ashore. The first thing to do when hunting a stingray is to deal with the venomous spines on its tail. The stingray we hunted today is very big. This stingray was simply a huge surprise for Zhuang. Zhuang placed it on the wooden board. When handling stingrays, Zhuang preserved his internal organs. He wants to fish with the livers of fish. After Zhuang cleaned the stingrays thoroughly, hang the fish on the tree and eat it tomorrow. On the 6th day of being trapped on a deserted island, Zhuang collected dry firewood on the deserted island early in the morning. He's going to have a big breakfast today. Zhuang was collecting firewood. I saw animal footprints on the beach. He guessed that these footprints should have been left by lizards. Stingray is a high-end ingredient. Often, the degree of emphasis is different. Zhuang surrounded a stove with rocks. The fish grilled this way will be more fragrant. The next step is to make a fire. For Zhuang, having hands is enough to make a fire on a deserted island. Stingrays that hung on the tree all night. Zhuang put it in the foot-washing water and washed it clean. During the cleaning process, it can also serve to marinate and infuse flavors. Such a big blue-spotted stingray. It would be a waste to roast and eat it directly. Zhuang placed it on the shore as bait to attract sharks, because he still wants to catch a shark to eat. Sure enough, the stingray soon worked. A shark was attracted over and swam back and forth nearby. I've been hesitant to come and steal some stingrays. Giving it a chance is of no use. If we wait any longer, the stingrays will probably all turn into raw pickled fish. Zhuang scooped up the fish and kept showing it off. The stingray has 2 venomous needles at its tail. There is a barb on the poison needle. It would be extremely painful if one were pricked. After the charcoal is burned, Zhuang directly grilled the stingray over charcoal. Under the high temperature of charcoal fire, stingrays start to contract and their meat becomes firmer. During the process of grilling fish, the fish meat should be turned over and grilled in a timely manner according to the heat and changes in the fish meat. The surface of the stingray gradually turned golden and crispy. The fire surrounded by reefs came into play. Yes, the heat emitted by charcoal is concentrated. The fish meat gradually began to cook. The smell of seafood could be clearly detected. Do stingrays have no bones? Just looking at the whole body of grilled fish meat makes one feel very inviting. Stingrays are very large in size. The fish's body has been charred. Zhuang decided to eat while roasting. The crispy skin of the fish tastes extremely fragrant. Stingrays are like turbot. The meat is tender, smooth, and juicy. Zhuang couldn't stop eating. He cut off the tail of the stingray with a knife.
Вы посмотрите на этот сочный кусочек. Я уже и забыл, насколько вкусный скат, друзья. Очень вкусно, очень вкусно.
A wonderful day passed in Zhuang while tasting stingrays. On the 7th day of being trapped on a deserted island, Zhuang tried various ways of fishing on the deserted island, but the effects were all unsatisfactory. In order to obtain more food sources, today, Zhuang decided to use traps to catch fish. There are many fish in the shallow water area. Zhuang placed the trap in the reef area. Use the uneaten mink meat from yesterday as bait. Put some stones in the trap as counterweights. Prevent the flow of seawater from carrying away the trap. After setting up the traps, Zhuang continued to dive and hunt with crossbows. Many sea fish appeared near the trap, but they are all very vigilant. I didn't fall into the trap and steal the bait. It seems that there won't be any gains for the time being. Zhuang returned to the camp to rest. The plastic bottles hanging on the tent serve to collect rainwater. When it is raining, it can collect a full bottle of fresh water. Zhuang used bottles to collect this rainwater, although not very good looking. But all of these are clean, fresh water. The fishing traps have also been placed for some time. When Zhuang went to check, he found that he had gained nothing. All these fish in the sea have seen a lot. It's a bit difficult to catch them through traps. After getting ashore, Zhuang decided to make a fire to dry the clothes. He picked up a bent wooden stick. There is also an umbrella rope. He intends to try making a hand drill bow to start a fire. It only requires simple processing. All the materials used have been completed. Next, it's still the familiar recipe and the familiar taste. Zhuang quickly pulled the hand drill bow. The drill pipe rubbed at high speed on the wooden board, leaving embers. Embers gather in the dry coconut fibers. Just a gentle blow can produce a large amount of thick smoke. After watching Zhuang's fire-making operation, don't you think it's very simple? A partner who thinks they can do it too. Zhuang found a dead sea snake on the beach. It seems to have been dead for 2 days. After dark, Zhuang continued to the shore to go beachcombing. He wants to catch a silver-ringed snake to eat, but I have never met it. Every day, I went beachcombing but had no harvest. Zhuang once again dived for hunting with a crossbow. He was exploring by the reef, but nothing of no value was found. Diving for hunting is extremely physically demanding. If you're lucky, you can catch something. If you're not lucky, you'll get hungrier the more you dive. It's the 8th day of being trapped on a deserted island. Zhuang immediately took his fishing rod and went to the reef to fish. In fact, we can find out. Zhuang wants to have a seafood feast every meal on the deserted island. That's either hunting or on the way to hunting. He spent almost the whole day looking for food. When fishing, even if a fish bites the hook, it will be easily broken free. Zhuang has always wanted to get some food by fishing, but every time my luck is bad. After returning from fishing, Zhuang tried to hunt sharks again with a harpoon. Hunting sharks on a deserted island is also his wish. In my spare time, Zhuang will still be constantly collecting dried firewood. The weather on the deserted island is very unstable. These dry fire hairs are the key materials for him to make a fire. Today, Zhuang is going to show another way of making a fire. Although this harpoon failed to catch any fish, but it is not completely without merit. Zhuang picked up a stone, then take out some carbides from the box. Pinch the carbide and the stone together, then make a strong collision on the harpoon. When stones produce sparks, they will instantly ignite carbides. Amazing, right? Zhuang thus easily kindled the fire. The next time you are trapped on a deserted island, you can also make a fire in the same way. When Zhuang was sitting on the beach taking a rest, see sharks lurking. He immediately decided to try fishing for this shark. Use the leftover stingray residue as bait. At this moment, the shark successfully lured 2 baby sharks by the beach with bait. Zhuang tried for a long time, but failed. The little shark is very cautious about food. It won't bite the hook easily, as long as the shark doesn't leave during this process. This proves that the bait can attract sharks. It's only a matter of time before the hook is hooked. After waiting for quite a while, the shark eventually couldn't resist the temptation and bit the hook.
Есть! Мне удалось поймать акулу!
Zhuang successfully caught a small shark. This kind of little shark is not delicious. Zhuang fishing for it was just for fun. If this kind of small shark is kept in a fish tank at home, it's likely to be very good looking. In fact, this is not the first time that Zhuang has caught a shark. When I was trying to survive on a deserted island before, I caught a larger shark. A wonderful day passed while fishing for sharks in Zhuang. It's the 9th day of being trapped on a deserted island. Zhuang pulled out 2 new trap devices. These traps are even smaller. The round trap I used the day before yesterday couldn't catch any fish. This time he changed to this square trap. There are 8 entrances. Therefore, this kind of trap is called wealth coming from all directions. It means being able to catch a lot of fish. Zhuang placed these 2 traps in the mangrove area. If you can't catch fish, Zhuang sat on the shore, savoring the tail of the stingray. This stingray tail was grilled on the 7th day. In fact, this is not strange. Yesterday, he was still eating the pike left over from the 4th day. It might taste even better if eaten 2 days later, on a hot, deserted island. There is no refrigerator for preservation. I have no idea how Zhuang managed to eat all this meat. After having a hearty meal, Zhuang came to the reef again with a fishing rod to go fishing. When walking onto the reef, it was found that the slippers had been cut to pieces. Walking barefoot on sharp rocks is even more dangerous. Zhuang put socks on the slippers. This design is quite peculiar, but it was also a reluctant move by Zhuang. Zhuang chose a very dangerous reef area to fish. The more expensive the fish. Just as I threw the second shot, a fish bit the hook. Look at the pulling force of the fishing rod. The one that bit the hook should be a big fish. Fortunately, it didn't decouple this time. This is a giant blue trevally. Looking at this head, it should weigh about 10 pounds. Blue trevally is the goal that Zhuang has been longing for.
Есть! Красавчик какой, смотрите! Вот это рыба! Вот это монстр! Вот это эмоции, самое главное! Есть!
cannonball fish by local residents. Blue trevally is a type of fish that is high in protein and fat. In a long-term state of food deficiency, this is equivalent to a life-prolonging package. On a deserted island, a big blue trevally is never just food. It is a survival card. It not only fills one's stomach, but also ignites the confidence to live on in the midst of despair. Before cooking dinner, Zhuang came to the shore to pick up waste. There are many slippers washed up by the waves on the shore. Zhuang found a pair of intact flip-flops here. If you don't like wearing flip-flops, you can also look for other styles. Although I accidentally lost a slipper today, but it was worth catching this big blue trevally weighing over 10 pounds. Now there are slippers and big fish. I really made a big profit from this round today. Back to the beach. Zhuang took the opportunity to check the fishing traps placed today. It's a pity that I didn't gain anything, but Zhuang had no time to be sad because there was still a blue trevally weighing over 10 pounds waiting for him to deal with. This huge blue trevally is enough to provide Zhuang with food for survival on the deserted island for a week. Zhuang scraped off the scales of the trevally, then processed the fish innards. Wouldn't this bunch of fish gills be better used as bait? But Zhuang casually threw it away. After cleaning and marinating the fish, Zhuang then cut the trevally in half. When handling fish meat, Zhuang found that his lips suddenly swelled up. He has no idea what's going on. This trevally has been completely processed. Next comes the cooking of dinner. Zhuang started a fire. He picked up a lot of dry bamboo and put it on the fire as a barbecue grill. Then simply spread the blue trevally on the grill.
Отлично. Ой, хорошо. Да, немножко на сторону головы. Опа! Красота! То, что нужно. Идеально, идеально все происходит у нас. Тихо, тихо, тихо. Ты куда?
The ingredients for today's dinner are quite large. The fire in the fire pile was also burning particularly fiercely. Zhuang is the most professional barbecue chef on the deserted island. When grilling fish, the time can be judged just by the naked eye, and promptly turn the fish meat over for roasting. It's impossible to do without over a decade of barbecue experience. The flesh of the blue trevally is tender and dense. It is very easy to become soft and mushy when barbecued, so you must be very careful and cautious. When roasting fish, Zhuang would eat a piece from time to time. This is not stealing food out of hunger. Instead, it is a necessary step for every chef to taste dishes. The aroma of the grilled fish has been fully brought out.
Это очень вкусно. И шкурочка вкусная. Но моя любимая часть — это возле ребрышек, брюшко. Сочная. Рыба безумно вкусная. Очень вкусная. О, рыбка разваливается на дольки, смотрите. Сама отделяется. Блин, какая она вкусная.
I was extremely satisfied with this grilled fish feast today. I was hungry for 10 days on the deserted island. I don't think I'll wake up hungry tonight, do I? After eating the grilled fish, Zhuang came to the shore again with a harpoon to go fishing. It began to drizzle at this moment. The light attracted the squid. Zhuang naturally accepted it. My lips are still swollen now, but Zhuang still wanted to try the grilled squid. One squid is a bit too few. Zhuang still wants to catch another one. It's a pity that I've been looking for a long time, but still haven't found it. Fresh squid has a high water content. It is crystal clear and looks very appetizing. Dealing with squid is very simple. Just clean the internal organs and ink thoroughly. There is a cartilage in a squid's body. Zhuang strung the squids on the branches. Having been stranded on a deserted island for so long, I haven't had a midnight snack. After the small squid is baked at high temperature, the meat will become firm and bouncy. Take a bite and it's salty, fresh, crispy, and refreshing. The taste is quite rich. This small squid was roasted just right. It doesn't have much meat and is very suitable as a late-night snack. It's the 10th day of being trapped on a deserted island. It rains almost every day, so there is no need to worry at all about having no fresh water to drink on a deserted island. Zhuang continued to go fishing with his fishing rod. The big blue trevally I caught yesterday was very exciting. He still wants to catch another one today, but fishing depends entirely on luck. Zhuang believes that he has missed the time to catch blue trevallies today. back to the beach. He took out the leftover grilled fish meat from yesterday for breakfast. The surface of the fish meat has been completely charred black, but Zhuang didn't mind at all. I ate it mouthful by mouthful with great relish. After having breakfast, Zhuang explored on the reef. He saw a mouse appear here, but it soon disappeared among the reefs. Zhuang went to the mangrove forest to retrieve the trap he had set yesterday. Have you gained nothing? To my great surprise, not only were no fish caught in the mangrove forest, not even a big green crab was caught. It has brought so many survival tools. Now, only the trap has yet to be caught. After the Zhuang recycling trap, I started fishing for sharks on the beach again. The shark never fell for Zhuang again. After dark, Zhuang was diving for hunting with a harpoon in hand. Tonight is very strange. Not a single fish was seen. The traps placed in the sea still yield nothing. On the 11th day of being trapped on a deserted island, Zhuang has just emerged from the mangrove forest. Looking at his dejected expression, it was obvious that he had gained nothing. He saw the little shark appear on the beach again. This aroused Zhuang's enthusiasm for shark hunting. This time, he wants to catch a shark to eat. Zhuang took out a slingshot and used arrows to shoot. Perhaps the shark sensed the destructive power of Zhuang, but it was found that the shark had already left. After giving up shark hunting, Zhuang decided to fall into the trap again. I hope these traps can bring him some food. After returning to the camp, Zhuang took out the leftover blue snapper meat from yesterday to taste. I just took a couple of simple bites for lunch. The remaining fish meat continued to hang on the tree and was eaten when hungry. Zhuang folded up the trousers that were drying on the grass. He continued to take his fishing rod to the reef to fish, although there is still a pot of grilled fish left uneaten. But Zhuang couldn't stop on the road to obtaining food. I still didn't catch any fish today. Such days without any gains. Zhuang has long been accustomed to it. It's the 12th day. Zhuang was sitting by the shore, having a breakfast of grilled fish. He recalled having survived on this deserted island for more than 10 days. Caught a shark. A large blue trevally was caught using a fishing rod. A giant barracuda was hunted using crossbows. I caught stingrays again with a homemade harpoon. The crabs were also caught until they were too numerous to hold on to. All of this has been hard-won. My hands have long been covered with thick calluses, but it was also worn out. Zhuang has already proved with his survival skills that he can survive very well on the deserted island. Well, that's all for this episode of Survival on a Deserted Island. Welcome to like and subscribe to my channel Treasure Hunter. Watch more films about survival on deserted islands.